Welcome back to day 12, December 12th of our daily Vlogmas journey. I'm so glad that you're checking in and joining me. It's exciting. Today is a sad day. It's a horribly sad day. The big giant tree in my front yard is coming down. And I'm going to record it all. I'm going to capture it so that you can see it. I'll share it in the next day or so because I think it's pretty monumental and should be fun to watch, but it is sad. Well, I have some saucy treats to share with you today, so stick around for that. And then, of course, we're going to look at today's passage as we continue the Christmas story and prepare our hearts for that. See, day 12 today is a choo-choo train. There we go. Cranberry sauce is as easy as it gets to make. Technically, it's just cranberries, water, and sugar. And usually it's equal parts water to sugar. Most recipes for the 12-ounce bag of ocean spray that you're used to getting, they have 1 cup water, 1 cup sugar. But I am just adding some depth of flavor. I'm not going crazy on the flavors, but I'm taking the water and I'm dividing it into 4 parts. 2 parts water and 1 part strained orange juice. The pulp is fine, but usually oranges have a bunch of seeds, sort of remnants in it, even navels. And then 1 part bourbon. Not whiskey, not rye, a nice smooth bourbon. Don't want to add too much zing and weirdness to it. And of course, it all cooks off, so it's not going to be alcoholic. And then I also add a zest of 1 orange, and that really adds a lot of depth of flavor. So it's just simple. Let's put it together. I've almost tripled the recipe. This bag of cranberries came in 32 ounces, so I've adjusted the sugar up. But again, it's usually a 12-ounce bag, 1 cup water, 1 cup sugar, and then break up your liquids as you want to do to add some unique flavor. This really is as simple as it sounds. I'm not making this up. Dump them in the pot. Dump the sugar in the pot. Put the liquid in the pot. And your zest. Turn on to a medium heat, and then I'm going to give it just a bit of a mix to blend all the ingredients together. And right now you just see the little cranberries floating, just like those ocean spray commercials where they're walking in the bogs and the cranberries float to the top. But what's going to happen is as they heat up, you're just going to let it get to a boil, a light boil. Not an over giant boil, and you're just going to let it heat up for about 12 to 13 minutes. And as that happens, these berries are going to pop, and it's all going to coagulate. And then, of course, when you put it in your container, I'm going to put it in some jars, but if you put it in a bowl or whatever, it's going to thicken as it cools down. Okay, it's coming to a good strong boil now. The popping of the berries has been happening. You could take something like a masher to kind of go down and help break them, but really they get soft pretty quick. And I just take them and smash on the side with my spoon. You can get a bigger spatula. In fact, I am going to do that. I'm going to get one of these bigger silicone. They can handle the heat. Just put it in there and push them to the side, and then they pop open. And as they pop, they release a deep color, and the berries, I'm going to turn the temperature down just a little bit so that it's not foaming, boiling. And they just cook for about 10 minutes at this boil state until you feel like they really have all broken down. And if you want to leave it a little more chunky, like a cranberry relish, a little bit more, you don't have to break them all fully. But it's still going to have the skins in here and stuff, which it becomes more like a chutney. I suppose you could strain it and make it like the canned cranberry sauce you had as a kid that's just fully... but no, you don't want to do that. It just smells so good. I hope you'll make this so you can smell it. The orange and the bourbon and the cranberry just create a really warm, nice fragrance. Oh, and I forgot to mention, put in just a little pinch of salt. Sugared items with a little hint of salt brighten everything up just a little bit. You're not actually wanting to season it salty. You're just wanting to brighten it a bit. Okay, you can see the color is really deepened a lot. The bright berries are no longer floating on top because they're disappearing. They're becoming part of the mixture. The berries that are still kind of whole begin to float to the top, so it's easier to just kind of pull them to the side, and then once they're mixed in, more new berries come to the top again. So it's kind of simple process to see. Now the cranberries have an element in them called pectin. You don't need to add a thickener like on some fruits if you're making a jelly. This has a natural thickener in it. And just like that, it's done. I'm going to let it cool just a few moments while I set up the jars and the container to store it in, and I'll show you that. All right, I've got these little 4-ounce jelly jars. I think these are made by Ball. Frankly, I think Ball and Mason are one company now. But in any case, you can get them without that tufting look, or you can get them with. I just think if you're using these as gifts, that's a nice look to have. And when you put the lid on it, there is this, this freshness seal thing. As it cools, it will pull that button down. And then, of course, when you open it, you'll hear that pop sound. Now, of course, with anything hot, please use extreme caution, but particularly with things that have sugar like this in it. Because it's thick, if a drop got into your hand, it's going to sit there because it's going to burn you. So I wear these gloves to hold the jar because I'm just too messy. I'm not going to get it all in the jar fully. Some's going to go over the edge. Let me move the camera to get a better view for you. Sorry about that. So then fill your jar. You don't want to get exactly to the top, but you want to get it, generously full. And of course, we're going to have to go through and wipe that edge before we seal it. Because, like I said, I was a little on the messy side. Some of you who are jelly makers and stuff, and you know how to do the canning, you probably have some tricks. I think there's special funnels and all that stuff. But most of us don't have that equipment, so I'm showing you. All right, these make great gifts for neighbors, for family. Obviously, it's perfect for your own holiday meals. And if you like cranberry sauce, it will keep for a while. And so, making the extra size batches are fine. But I made it for my neighbors, and more than one of them that I gave it to asked for seconds, asked for the recipe. They just thought this was phenomenal. Okay, there you have it. Clean off the sides, put the lids on, Let them cool to room temperature before you put them in the refrigerator, because you don't want to bring the temperature down in your refrigerator. And then if you're giving them as gifts, make a fancy label or put a ribbon around it, or just give it to them as is. It's beautiful. The color is just really beautiful and nice. And people love homemade items that come from your heart. Okay, look at this. My wife, she has all these incredible little things that she just pulls out. I mentioned that I thought you could decorate these jars, and she said, well, I've got the decorations, and she went and grabbed this. She buys these things at the Container Store or other places after Christmas, and gets a fantastic deal on it. So this is a paper thing that wraps over the lid. You wrap it with a little bit of string, make a tag, and I think that's a sticker that you can put on the outside with the contents, and so that makes a beautiful little gift. I'll put one together. And there you have one done. What a great little way to do that. If you don't want to go out and buy that stuff, you could just get a piece of fabric, cut it into a square. You can put any Christmas tag on it. You can make any label on it. Or like I said, you could just give it to them as the jar. But this always looks a little bit more put together and thoughtful. Diane just always thinks that you put a little extra touch on something and decorate it nicely. It just is a much better gift to give. And I agree, don't you? Day 12 looks like a big one. Let's see what's in here. Look at, wow. What is that? It's an umbrella or a Christmas tree icicle ornament. Wow, that's cool looking. All right, and let's find out what day 12 is here. It's up here in the corner. That's pretty. That's pretty. Okay. Oh, and Waffles realized I'm doing this. She's like, where's my treats? Let's get them. Okay, day 12 is a big one here too. Let's see what this is. Must be some sort of a toy. It is. Oh, she's gonna like that. She loves her toys. She fetches, well, I think I've already told you that before, but oh, what's that? What's that? Hey, Waffles, get it. Try to wrestle that one. That one's a little thicker. It's going to probably be harder for her to get her mouth around and pick it up, but she's still going to have fun with that. We are continuing in Luke, and Luke chapter 1, verse 39 through 45. And Mary, who has been visited by the angel, and in all her excitement, she hurries to go and visit Elizabeth and see her. And at the sound of Mary's greeting, it says, Elizabeth's child leaped within her, and Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Spirit. Elizabeth gave a cry, a glad cry, and exclaimed to Mary, God has blessed you above all women, and your child is blessed. Why am I so honored that the mother of my Lord should visit me? When I heard your greeting, the baby in my womb jumped for joy. You are blessed because you believed that the Lord would do what he said. That's an incredible little vignette in the Christmas story, that John in womb recognized the presence of the Lord and leaped for joy, and Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Spirit and began to share this blessing with Mary. But the final line is, again, a profound line that applies in our lives as well. And this idea that you are blessed because you believe that the Lord would do what he said. And I just think that when we yield to God and we believe that he's going to do something in our life, and we give way in our lives to allow him to do that, of course we are blessed. We receive that when we believe what he's going to do, what he says he's going to do in our life. I think that's pretty profound stuff there. So I hope that encourages you, and as you're continuing to make room in your heart and your holiday, I hope that you are really experiencing some new perspective on things. So thanks for being with me. I'm so glad that you've joined. Please leave some comments below. Share how this month is going for you in your preparation, and tell me about your cranberry sauce. Do you just buy the can and can't be bothered with it? Do you find a nice jar of it maybe at Williams Sonoma or or World Market? Or do you make your own and you've got some unique items that you add into your recipe? I'd love to hear from you on how you enjoy your cranberry sauce. So thank you for that, and try mine if you haven't ever made it and you want to try something. It's easy and it's very tasty. And I think that there are ways that you can serve it, obviously as a little side accompaniment on your plate with your mashed potato stuffing and turkey or ham. Frankly, it's good on beef. The tart fruit with any meat is going to be tasty. But you could also serve it as part of an appetizer. Often an idea is to put out some cream cheese on a plate, and we put pepper jelly, red pepper jelly on it a lot. But I've had it the other night at a party with fig jelly. That was very tasty. And so I got to thinking, you know what, this really fresh cranberry sauce would be good on that as well. And you just, dip your cracker into that, get some cranberry sauce and cream cheese. That would be good. So there's lots of ways to use this. You don't have to limit it to the Thanksgiving turkey meal, okay? All right. Hey, be good to others. Bye-bye.